Hi y'all, welcome to our introduction to social contract theory, also called Contractarianism. In this video, we'll see how this theory connects morality, political power, and the agreements people make to live together in society. Social contract theory says that morality and political legitimacy depend on rules chosen by people who are free, equal, and rational. And these rules only work if everyone agrees to follow them. People agree to obey those rules on the condition that others do the same. Let's break that down into the key elements. Self-interest. We want to protect our own well-being. Freedom. People must freely choose to join the contract. Equality. Everyone starts as equals in the agreement. Rationality. Those making the rules can think critically about the consequences. Agreement on the rules. There has to be consensus. Mutual obedience. The system works only if everyone obeys on the condition that others do too. Social contract theory began as political philosophy. At first, it was about when a government's power is legitimate, so when laws would be accepted by free, equal, and rational people. Later, philosophers applied it to ethics, making it a way to decide which actions are morally right. Social contract theory has actually been around for a long time. In ancient Greece, Socrates refused to escape prison because he believed in keeping his social contract with Athens. This is a concept called tacit consent, where you silently agree to the laws by staying within the society. Aristotle argued that humans naturally form communities for the good life, even if that means giving up some freedoms for the benefits of living together. Political philosophy also asks, where does power come from? In the ancient world, rulers often claimed power came from gods or claimed to be gods themselves. Later, monarchs claimed divine descent and eventually the divine right of kings. With the Enlightenment, this idea shifted. Thinkers revived the long-buried notion that power comes from the people themselves, a principle at the very heart of social contract theory. During the Enlightenment, philosophers like Thomas Hobbes revived social contract theory to challenge the divine right of kings and explain why we need government. They often used thought experiments like the state of nature and the prisoner's dilemma. The prisoner's dilemma shows a conflict between acting purely out of self-interest and acting in a way that benefits more people. The idea is that if each person slightly reduces their self-interest, the outcome is better for everyone. Social contract theory aims to prevent destructive self-interest by creating agreed-upon rules that everyone follows. By the way, to get a more detailed look at the prisoner's dilemma, check out the video that we have posted on this channel. The state of nature is another thought experiment that was important to modern social contract theory. In the imaginary state of nature, we see a pre-civilization world where there's no government, there are no laws, there's nothing to restrict human actions or govern human behavior. So Thomas Hobbes pictures the state of nature as total anarchy. He called it a war of all against all, and he said there life is solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. Why is life so brutal in Hobbes' state of nature? Hobbes points to 4 features of human life. Equality of need, we all require the same basic resources. Scarcity, those resources are limited. Essential equality of humans, we're evenly matched enough that conflict could be endless, and limited altruism. Our willingness to help others is small, according to Hobbes. So given these conditions, Hobbes believed that only a strong government can create safety and cooperation. John Locke agreed that we need government, but saw people in the state of nature as generally cooperative. He believed we should give up only some liberty for security, and that people have a right, and perhaps a duty, to revolt if the government becomes tyrannical. John Rawls offered a modern twist in a theory of justice with his original position and veil of ignorance. Imagine designing a society without knowing your own social position. Rawls believed that from behind this veil, people would choose fairer rules because they could end up in any position in that society. Rawls's vision of justice depends on fair and equal treatment for all members of society. But what happens when the actual laws in a society don't live up to those principles? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. confronted this very issue during the American Civil Rights Movement. In his letter from a Birmingham jail, Dr. King argued that people have a moral responsibility to disobey unjust laws. A just law aligns with moral law and human dignity. An unjust law degrades human dignity. Within social contract theory, if the rules we live under violate the principles that free, equal, and rational people would agree to, civil disobedience can be morally justified. King's actions demonstrate how breaking certain laws can actually uphold the deeper moral contract among citizens. Social contract theory connects the legitimacy of governments and the morality of actions to agreements made by free, equal, and rational people. It evolved from a political theory into an ethical framework and still shapes modern debates about justice, rights, and government today. Social contract theory has several strengths. It explains why morality is a social phenomenon. Our rules come from mutual agreements, not just from personal feelings. It justifies the specific content of those rules, since they're the ones that free, equal, and rational people would agree to live by. This means morality isn't just a matter of opinion. And it helps explain why it can sometimes be morally right to break the rules, such as in cases of civil disobedience, when the rules themselves violate the principles of fairness and cooperation. There are also significant criticisms of social contract theory. The free rider problem is one, where people can benefit from the rules while breaking the rules. Another issue is the difference between tacit consent and actual consent. Do we really agree to the contract just by living in a society? There can also be disagreements among the contractors about which rules are best. Minority voices may be overlooked in creating the contract. Finally, social contract theory excludes non-contractors, those who are not free, equal, and rational, meaning it offers no moral protection to animals, the environment, or humans outside its definition of the moral community. Alright, y'all, that concludes this video that was an introduction to social contract theory. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day.